All right.
Like Will Smith and his kid, except there are
So,
three of us, and we're way more poor.
I think it's
Alright.
funny that we're doing a Korean movie on Cinco de Mayo.
It is the 5th.
We should have
Yeah.
done Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Oh yes.
I was gonna
Fucking
call you-
classic.
I
Do
need
we
some
want to
pork
call an audible and
sandwiches.
do it right now?
I haven't seen that movie in years. But
Yeah,
I
it wouldn't
did
be
love
fair. It would not be fair to do it
Okay.
right now. So I want to get up some quick
too
Train to Busan facts because that is the film we're doing today. So I want to try and get the kind of the Wikipedia breakdown. You guys, we're good? Ready to get going? All right.
I'm ready, dude.
So Train to Busan is a 2016 South Korean action horror film directed by Yeon Sang-ho and starring Gan-yu, Young Yu Mai, and Ma Dong-seok. Okay, probably butchering all of those names, not intentional. And this is coming from the Wikipedia. The film mostly takes place on a train to Busan, which appropriately enough is the title of the movie. It's when the zombie apocalypse suddenly breaks out. All right, that's all we're going for from Wikipedia. Gentlemen, you down at the bottom, Daniel, you did not get a chance to watch this movie. All right. And so
I did that. That was the plan, right? I didn't.
that was the
up.
plan. You did not
Okay.
fuck that up.
it's like, did I fuck it up again? Oh, shit. Okay.
All right. So off the top from me, I enjoyed the film. I thought it was a great film. I've seen a lot of zombie movies, but I have not seen this one. It was different and it was good. And there were characters that are relatable, regardless of where you're from in the world. If you got on subtitles, there is somebody in this film for everyone. There's the hero, there is the redemption, there is the child and his fathers. I mean, I think it's something we can all kind of relate to, is trying to save our kids and save our families and what we're willing to sacrifice and learning along the way. All right, Scott, give me your thoughts, man.
Well, I was saying, no, I'm not going to save my family. They're on their own.
Okay. Fair enough.
But
So you're the asshole in this situation.
yes, I am. But okay.
He's what the film's about, really.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're guys, and we grew up in a great zombie period. You know, Dawn of the Dead, 28 Days Later, Shaun of the Dead. We had great zombie movies in our quote unquote youth.
I'm 40.
I'm with Bill. Yeah.
I heard it's like
I'm
mid-20s.
with Bill. It's a zombie movie, which I've never really seen in a zombie movie that made me go, this is terrible, because they're zombie movies and we all love them. The good storyline. I was able to watch it, and I felt suspense at 2 or 3 points in the movie where I was kind of, edge of the seat, and I forgot to breathe a little bit. But at the end of the day, I found some pretty big takeaways that kind of made the movie not as good as it could have been. And we can dive into that in a minute. I'll say this out the gate. I would say, Dan, watch it, but be ready for some disappointment in the movie, is my opinion.
Okay, so spoiler alert. What was disappointing to you?
So I did not. There's multiple things here and there. The zombies, they're fast-moving zombies. Cool, got it. But you see different scenes of the movie where the zombies will do one thing in a hallway, so to speak, and they're tumbling over each other, getting, moving really quick and using the massive bodies to get after the heroes. But then later in the movie, when they're in almost the exact same predicament, that is not happening. And because the movie is going the way it is, there's not less zombies there. It's still the same amount. But because of action sequences and whatnot, they couldn't do the same thing over and over again. So the zombies did not have the same push across the board that I thought they should have had. Does that make sense?
I think I understand what you're talking about when you're talking about like tearing through like glass walls, but not being able to do it on the plane or on the train.
Exactly.
Yeah, those sorts of things. I get that. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I did like that these zombies weren't smart.
Yes.
Like, zombies that didn't know how to open doors.
Yep.
Awesome, because you're fucking brain dead, and you're going off of an instinct to just eat shit and turn people into your shit.
Yeah.
I do like I did like some of those things that I haven't seen, like zombies can't open door. I've never seen a zombie with the door shut and it works. Like they just kind of go through the walls.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but if that were the case, Walking Dead would have been figured out a long time ago. Just lock the doors. Just lock the doors. They don't give a fuck.
Problem solved. Problem solved. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier. It's easier to control the zombies that way than with like coronavirus. You know, you don't need a mask. You just need to turn the lights off.
Coronavirus.
Yep.
Sorry, what do you got there? Is that Jameson and coffee?
Yes, sir. Always black coffee, Folgers, and Jameson.
You are a classy son of a bitch.
You know, dude, I just try to live up to the expectation of my family, which is very low. So, I'm just trying to live up to that expectation. Irish, you know.
I was gonna say that was the next thing. It was like, clearly you're Irish.
Dude, I mean, I got Bushmills too. So Bushmills is more of my night drink. Jameson's more of the morning, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Indica sativa, I get it.
Yeah, you know. Just keep that depression rolling. Just roll it. I'm actually
coffee and beer or coffee and whiskey.
Yeah, coffee and whiskey. You know, upper and downer. I've seen this movie. It's available on Netflix, right? As I've seen it on there. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard about this movie, and I've never really heard anything too negative about this film. It's something that's always been on my list, and somewhere in that list, you know, you just have that list of movies. I'll watch it someday. But I'm very interested. I think you guys both are basically telling me to watch it at this point.
Yeah.
That I would probably enjoy it. And there's actually a cool psychological study. It's a psychological study was done about 10 years ago. And what they found was that peak popularity of zombie movies always happened during wartime.
Well,
isn't that interesting? It's like, and I was just standing there. I was like, okay, well, why is that? And the study basically gets down to, it's during wartime, zombies are the most popular, and during peacetime, vampires are the most popular. So I always thought that was just an interesting thing.
All right, well, let me throw this out there. Speaking of vampires, Stephanie Meyer, the lady behind Twilight, has her new book coming. So maybe we are heading into a time of peace, and Stephanie Meyer is guiding us there.
There we go.
My argument to that, though, is that at least in the States, right, globally, we've been at war for almost like 20 years.
Sure.
And, you know, and maybe that's why we haven't had any good vampire movies. Maybe that's why. Well, I'm trying to think of the last vampire movie I was excited to see.
Interview with a Vampire.
Again, that's going back to like 94, 95, 96, a whole long time ago.
Hey, there is a vampire movie, South Korean film, directed by Chan Woo Park, is called Thirst. And it's about a priest who has a debilitating disease. And he gets it on purpose. And long story short, he has to drink blood to survive. Super interesting.
Well, it's way better than fucking little boys.
Yeah, right? I mean, you got to do what you got to do, but, you know, we made it happen.
I'd rather a vampire priest. I'll be totally honest with you.
That is an interesting vampire movie in that realm, I would say, if you haven't seen it.
Well, there are a lot of different ways that you can go into this as a conspiracy priest drinking the blood of the youth, adrenochrome, blood of my blood. There's so, I mean, here's a question though. Why is it that the best movies right now, the most watchable at least, are coming out of South Korea? Maybe it's because they're different to us. Maybe it's because it's a world that we're not used to seeing. But whether it's Parasite or
Parasite was good. Parasite.
Train to Busan, I want to see The Virus now. Like I'm interested in watching more Korean films.
I've been a big fan of Korean films probably since 2010, 2012 when I started watching them. Because South Korea was putting out some really crazy shit, like some really wild stuff for a long time. But then they had some fantastic. John Woo Park is a fantastic director. I mean, he really is. He's done the Vengeance trilogy, and he did Thirst, and he actually came to America and made a movie. But I think it's their culture there is a little bit more. They're used to seeing kind of more wild stuff, so they're not afraid to push the envelope a little bit. And people
Koreans
will
are
still
used to
go see it.
zombies. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, they're willing to push. Like, Parasite is a really good example of how, like, they're willing to expose the intimacies and the intricacies of relationships and the differences in social classes and how both sides can be evil in their own way. And it's just an interesting concept that I think in American theaters we want to see more of the Hobbs and Shaw, Marvel. Give us that quick, good old in and out kind of lack of feeling.
So, but Hobbs and Shaw was meant for a global audience. Like, that film was written, produced, and shit out with trying to make as many people smile as possible. When you have a film that's shot in South Korea and it stars South Koreans and it's a South Korean language movie, it's made for you. It's made for your fans. It's not made necessarily for like a dude in Alaska or a dude in Frankfurt, Germany, or some cat in London. It is made for your folks. A film starring
your
The Rock and
fans.
Jason. Your films with starring Jason Statham are made for everybody.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But would you say, and this is a quick, I guess, like opinion for you guys, are you guys the subtitle people, or do you guys like overdub, English overdub? I'm a subtitle guy.
I'm subtitle because I'm deaf. Here's my hearing aid, so I have subtitles on American shows, so it doesn't change anything for me.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm good at either way. I can dig I can dig subtitles or not. It depends really on the show. So for example, Skyline, which is a film a show that takes place in Frankfurt, Germany, because it's a series, it's like 9 hours long. I'd rather watch that overdub because they'll do a pretty good job of syncing it up. However, I've also watched enough John Woo movies with dubs and subtitles to know that you're better off getting it with both. Like, if you can get overdubbed and subtitles, you're going to read two completely different movies. Watch The Killer if you think I'm wrong. You'll see one thing, but they'll say one thing, but it'll read something that's enough. It's different enough to have a different meaning, if that makes sense.
That's interesting. I've never done simultaneous.
Yeah, I've never done.
That's interesting.
But I guess it depends on the movie. It also depends on the service. So, like, if you're watching it on, say, Netflix, it's probably going to be a little bit better quality than like the DVD that I bought 20 years ago.
True. That is true.
What you got?
So I have an idea for an experiment, because you're talking about Netflix versus DVD. I wonder if doing VPCs might change the words, because in some of the places I've been deployed, we have to use VPCs to get on Netflix, right? So we need to do some research. If I do a VPC that says I'm in Canada and I watch this movie, are subtitles going to be different as to compared to America, or if they think I'm in Britain? Do you
Maybe
think
in
that's
French.
A thing?
Well, okay, so it depends on the language. So certain certain shows on Netflix will have like 5 or 6 different languages that you can choose from. So even there, you have options.
But I'm talking about the country that they think that you're in.
Well, I mean, just think about how much money that would cost to subtly change. I don't think that would be that way.
I've
different
noticed,
languages, absolutely, but
I've noticed when I was in a undisclosed location using VPCs, I noticed not so subtle differences in the movies that I watched in America. I'm not going to get into it right now because it's not the right forum, but we can talk about this later. I've seen like a movie completely different from what it was in America.
Well, sometimes you have films that have different edits. So a lot of times when you have a major film that is marketed with, say, China in mind, you'll and you've seen it, you've heard about it, and you've seen it with Marvel, where they have to change certain things to make it more for the Chinese viewership. My understanding is there had to be some cuts and some writing edits into the new Top Gun to appease governments of different countries.
So you're saying that they, somebody who doesn't speak English in China, let's say Captain America's like, I don't like what you're saying. But then in Chinese subscripts, it could be saying, all hail Chinese Emperor Wu.
No, they actually go and reshoot scenes.
Okay.
They like actually do stuff specifically for China. The
Oh.
Star Wars franchise had to take out. There's at the end of the most recent Star Wars film, there was a lesbian couple kissing. They had to take that out on their protesters. Their posters for the Chinese people. They had to put John Boyega in the back and lighten the color of his skin, the color of his skin, because racism, I guess, in China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm still relatively new to actually paying attention to movies and getting into the nitty gritty. So I did not know that as a person.
Now you do. So can we talk about John Boyega for a second? All right. I'm not going to knock him as an actor, but when I see him in Star Wars, all I can think is he's only there because we didn't know Israel Adesanya existed in time to put him in that first reboot. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are not familiar with Israel Adesanya, he is probably the most entertaining fighter in mixed martial arts. He's originally from Nigeria, fighting out of Auckland, New Zealand, and he is a bad human being. Just watch his YouTube highlights. You'll thank me later. But he should have. When you talk about DLC in movies, I would like to pull John Boyega out of that, and I would like to put Israel Adesanya. But to be fair, maybe we throw John Boyega as the Star Wars dude in some DLC for a video game. Why not? Or Fight Pass. Maybe, you know what? Maybe we replace John Boyega, or we replace Israel Adesanya and Anderson Silva, and you just have John Boyega versus John Boyega.
Oh shit! I mean, I'm down to see that. If they're going to be a little intense, I would.
I don't know what you just said, but it completely broke up on my end.
Oh, okay. I was saying I would totally be down to see that, like downloadable content that you could actually put people in and out of films. Or we've talked about this before, but I think that would be really awesome. Like put Daniel Day-Lewis as like Han Solo or something. Because I love Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, you could put Daniel Day-Lewis as everybody, including Chewbacca, and you have him from different films. You have him like Last of the Mohicans, but then you also have Daniel Day-Lewis. You also have Daniel Day-Lewis from
There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood.
In the Name of Our Father. The Boxer. There's so many good.
Yeah.
Oh, My Left Foot. That's a classic. Just saying.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Wait, was that Daniel Day-Lewis? Wait, am I thinking? What was the one with? Well, I'm going back to The Boxer. Was that?
Yeah.
Was that the Mark Wahlberg as Mickey Ward movie?
No, but that is a great film.
Because I thought it was Christian Bale. Yeah, it was Christian Bale.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's the fighter. Yeah, The Boxer is he's from Ireland, so it's like an Irish movie. But I love Daniel Day-Lewis, so I go back. I just love it. I love him. Dude, have him from Gangs of New York as like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Like the dude from Gangs of New York is like Darth
Whoopsie
Vader.
daisy.
Yeah.
Cuts off his.
I love Daniel Day-Lewis.
So let's try another DLC idea. You replace Tiny Lister in Friday with Bill the Butcher.
Oh shit. That would be amazing. I'm actually related to Bill the Butcher.
Yeah?
All the way back, dude. At least that's what the family says. I don't know if that's true, man. I don't know. But that would be pretty sick if I was.
Families say lots of things. Apparently, Elizabeth Warren's great-great-great-grandmother was a princess of some sort. Families say all kinds.
She was anyway, right?
Man, I totally lost what you just said in that last part.
Yeah, I think we're having some connectivity issues, boys and girls.
Hey, it's all right, guys. It's all right. I heard Elizabeth Warren, obviously, her family told her that she was Native American forever.
She was a princess, apparently.
I tell my kids they're white, so
I tell my kids I like them.
Ooh,
No,
I'd have never once said that
I
to my
don't.
children.
No, I don't.
Yeah, no. I
So
don't have time to tell my kids that I love them.
So, Scotty, would you recommend Train to Busan?
Yes, but let me add if you are a zombie fan, be ready to enjoy the movie for what it is, but as a zombie fan, you need to be ready to pick it apart from both the zombie aspect and the reaction of the humans who are still alive. Because there's several times on both ends where I'm like, zombies, I've already seen them doing this, and now they're not. And the humans, unless these people are not very smart human beings, they would not have done some of the things I saw in the movie.
However, you and I have never been chased by zombies while we are trying to get back to our train. We don't. Our frame of reference for this is a bit limited.
I'll give you that. And I know panic sets in, tunnel vision sets in, and people, under stress are going to do different things. But I would like to think off the top of my head, I can't think of anything, but there's a couple things in the movie where both my wife and I looked at each other and we're like, this is a no-brainer. Why did you do that? This is a no-brainer. Why did that happen?
So are you trying to use logic in a sense? Like you're like, oh, it's illogical.
Yeah, there's a couple things where just in my opinion, a human being's natural fight or flight, a natural reaction to certain things would not be the way they were in that movie.
Sure. I don't think Vin Diesel dropping across, 30 lanes of highway traffic into another car is believable either, but hey.
So let me digress. I want a zombie movie what's the most realistic zombie movie out there?
I already have it.
What is it?
28 Days Later. I think is one of the most realistic, and that's my favorite zombie film, honestly.
I will give
Shout out to Danny Boyle.
Oh yeah, Danny Boyle, dude.
I think South Koreans were kind of in this movie more acting more dumb than a person in modern culture would against some type of outbreak.
Dude, have you met some people, dude? Come on.
But these are Koreans, and in the movie they're saying go to school, otherwise you'll end up like this homeless guy. So they're educated people. I want a zombie movie where people aren't running around like chickens with their heads cut off, and that happened a few times. And I get it, panic happens.
You had one. You had one hero in the film, right? You had one character who was thinking clearly, who was wrapping his head around the situation. Perhaps that guy was prior military, perhaps he was law enforcement. But what we know about the people in this film is that aside from that guy who we have zero back information for, we don't know what the military background was.
Yes.
We know one guy was like a financial analyst. And I can tell you that in a battle with zombies that don't get tired, the last fucking person I need with me is a financial analyst.
Thank you.
So people who have different experiences are going to react to zombies running at them and the limited information that you have in a bunch of different ways. Whether it's the guy that's who's willing to risk or kill other people for his own survival, or you have the dude who's willing to wrap up his arms and go toe to toe with some undead motherfuckers.
I'm both of those guys.
So
I will break your ankle, Bill.
I like that there were a lot of things that I'd never seen in a zombie film. Like the door, like being able to shut a door, but the fact that they were able to go through the glass doors in a building, but not go through glass doors on a train was kind of funky. But why the fuck would you get out of the bathroom? If you're safe in a bathroom, why the fuck would you get out? Why the fuck would
That's what I'm talking.
You open a window, you clear your way out.
That's the type of common sense I'm talking about. I
guess the movie wouldn't be that interesting if they just sat in the bathroom.
Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But Bill, I'll give it to you. I really enjoyed when they go into the tunnels, multiple tunnels, and the reactions that the zombies have to going into tunnels. I don't want to ruin too much for Dan.
Well,
watch it.
I guess my question is, would you say that the direction is good? Like whether or
Yes.
not all the logical bullshit,
yeah,
like is it like
it's
filmed well,
yes.
cinematography,
Oh yeah.
acting?
Yes. The
Again,
little girl in that movie, the little girl is probably one of the best child actors I've ever seen in my life.
There we
I
go.
will say that. Phenomenal. Me, Tiffany, both. We were like, wow, this little Korean girl, I want to adopt her.
she's just tearing at the heartstrings.
Yes.
Yeah, she was great in the film. I
Mhm.
couldn't tell you what her name is. I'm just gonna call her badass in the movie.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But with that being said, like there were a lot of angles that I had never seen. There were cuts that
Yeah.
like shots that I've never seen. When
Yep. I'll give you that.
when they're traversing, and spoiler alert, like they're climbing kind of on top of the luggage racks
Mm-hmm.
in the dark through a tunnel. Just the way that is shot, I've never seen that before.
It's great. It's
Um,
genius.
It's
Yeah.
they do a really good job of adjusting to the claustrophobia.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, but
Um,
that's the beauty of if you are a good director, you got a good cinematographer, and that's where that suspense is really built. Even without dialogue, it's a lot of that is going to be put on you by just the claustrophobic feeling or just the way it's shot. So that really says a lot about their talent. That if you can just have a scene where there's really nothing going on, but you can feel it, like you're there. That's really impressive.
I'd be
I'll
really
give you that,
interested.
Dan. Yeah.
I'd be really interested to see some of this director's other work, primarily because I know that as an artist, when you're able to just toil away in in a space where nobody's bothering you, you can come up with some real cool stuff. They're isolated from what's going on in Hollywood, what's going on in other cinematic parts of the world.
Mm-hmm.
They're isolated. They don't have to deal with the bullshit that you've got to deal with to try and make a movie in Hollywood.
Yes.
I think you're less likely to run into a lot of the horror stories that you saw in films like Out of Shadows in a place like South Korea, where you have what you have the tools in front of you, and you got to get creative and you got to try something new and something different. Otherwise it gets stale because otherwise everyone's making the same shit. So then you end up with films like Parasite. You end up with films like Train to Busan. I'm excited for the sequel. I read that there's a sequel to Train to Busan. I will watch the shit out of that sequel.
So this leaves you wanting more. You do want more. Okay.
Absolutely. Knowing how that film ends. Okay. Knowing what I know about the ending of this movie, I want to see how it gets to where it's going.
Okay. No, I'm gonna tell you right now, I will watch it. I'm excited to watch it. And if there's never a perfect movie, but I'm always down, dude. Like I love zombies. I just love film. Period. I'm a big film guy, so I just love it.
There is a perfect movie, and it's called Tropic Thunder.
Okay, honestly, that is an amazing film.
It's the best war movie ever. Anyways.
It's so great.
Yeah.
Probably one of the last times you're going to see blackface in Hollywood, but it was a good performance.
I think that Tropic Thunder is definitely one of the better directed, better filmed movies, war movie or otherwise. Like the actors acted their ass off. Doesn't matter if you're Robert Downey Jr. in blackface or you're Jack Black going through heroin withdrawals.
Yeah. And didn't Ben Stiller direct that?
Ben Stiller directed it.
It took Ben Stiller 10 years to write the script for Tropic Thunder. Okay. And when he approached Tom Cruise was like, yes, but only if I can wear a fat suit and have a dance scene. And it was like Ben Stiller was like, oh my God, why did I never think of that?
Yeah.
So I want that Netflix series. I want that Tom Cruise in a fat suit as an agent.
Yeah.
I want that Entourage.
Les Grossman. Okay? I want Les Grossman miniseries.
I want Les Grossman in Entourage. That's what I want.
Yes.
I want DLC, all those seasons of Entourage. You get rid of Jeremy Piven. No disrespect, the goods is the shit, but you throw in less, and you go bananas, and it's a whole different show.
I'll add somebody to the Zoom meeting right now. We can go down a Tropic Thunder rabbit hole for days if you really want that, but I got those boys on lineup.
So we do need to talk about is What's the next thing we're gonna watch?
The Way
Okay.
Ahead.
I do have a suggestion.
What do you got?
Okay. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the film Dragged Across Concrete or
No.
the incident at Sparrow Creek.
No.
But it's actually a really cool. Well, first and foremost, Dragged Across Concrete stars Vince Vaughn and Mel Gibson. And the
No.
reason why this is such a so you know how we were talking about recently, Bill, you were saying, well, South Korea has the ability to kind of be a little more free because they're not the Hollywood machine behind them, right? Well, this is more of a what I would say a right-leaning production company. They kind of come at things from I wouldn't say a conservative view, but they're not afraid to say like horrific shit. They're not afraid to go at it. And both of them are really good films. But Dragged Across Concrete, Mel Gibson, Vince Vaughn, two cops. It's a fucking it's a good movie.
I can
Looks
tell
like
you
it's
right
on
now,
Netflix.
Yeah, it was at one point. I don't know if it's
How about-
is it still there.
You two watch it because right now I can tell you I have zero interest in this movie. So,
Dude, it's
I know,
so good.
and I trust your opinion as a human being and as a friend, but if we're gonna do this one, you two need to watch it and try to sway me one way or the other.
Okay.
I'm willing to watch it again.
I'm
Okay.
definitely willing to watch it. It's on Netflix right now, as well as other. Well, is it? Shit, it's coming up dark. I'm not. Maybe it's not on Netflix at the moment.
You can't say dark. That's too racist.
Yeah, it's looking like it's not on Netflix at the moment.
And I was thinking about this earlier. We're talking about the way ahead, what movies to watch. I want to hear from the fans. Bill, I mean, this is your show. I don't know how many people are actually listening to us, be idiots or not, but have them start giving us ideas. And
Agreed.
If somebody, yeah,
Yeah.
we've talked about doing a watch party, which until the end of June, a watch party is going to be a little hard for me to be a part of. But after about June 20th, I'll have a lot of free time in the evenings.
Dragged Across Concrete is on Hulu.
Okay.
You guys but I want to know, what do the fans want us to talk about? The fans want to join us. We throw that out there every now and then. I got a couple different people that I'm reaching out to. If you want to do Tropic Thunder, I got two guys who would be great. If you want to do Wolf of Wall Street, I got a guy who's great. But
it needs to. It's one of those things that it has to be on a streaming service. And you said that this is on Prime or on Hulu.
Yes,
That's what it said.
I don't have Hulu, but I can make this happen. So Scotty's bought the bullet so that we could do movies in the past. I'll rent this on Prime. Yeah, but
I want to rent the one that you sent us, Bill.
Which one?
The Alien Majestic, whatever it is.
Above Majestic.
Yes.
Above Majestic.
I'm gonna rent that one.
It's definitely one worth renting. Now there is a sequel to Above Majestic.
Okay.
So be prepared for that, because once you start down this rabbit hole, because there's a lot of information that they go over in Above Majestic that you kind of have to be willing to invest another 2 or 3 hours to kind of get more of the information. And then and then you make your decision about whether you think the people presenting the information are credible, because that's the other key. Now, I like to imagine when I watch movies and documentaries about the paranormal that no one is full of shit, and that everyone is above board and nobody is making it up as they go along, because I'd much rather, 100%, I would much rather live in a world where we went to war with Iraq to get the Stargate back. All right, I would much rather that we go to war for the sanctity of human life in a battle with the lizard people or some shit like that. It's way cooler if we're trying to get to another part of the universe by splitting space in half than we're fighting for oil. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. We're going for the Stargate and nothing else.
I love it.
I wish Stargate was real. One of my favorite movies as a kid.
Shush. This is a real theory. This is a thing that lots of people believe.
I'm done.
They know.
Okay.
You can't.
Okay. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
lots of people believe crazy shit, and I am not someone who can say, nah, that's too crazy for me. Especially if we're all taught, if we grew up in any kind of religious family, to believe in the paranormal. If you believe in angels and you or anything like that, then you have to be willing to at least listen to someone else's beliefs, how as different as they might be from your own. And if you really believe that there's God and there's angels and there's all of this other stuff, then you have to be at least open in your heart and open in your mind enough to listen to whatever someone else has to say that's not crazy bullshit to them.
And I'm with you, Bill. I will listen to everything. I watched this weird Sasquatch internet, whatever that thing is. I watched it, and like I said, I want to believe. I want to believe in all this.
You watched it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was a terrible movie. All right, he's had 1,000 milligrams today.
I've had none. I'm drinking kombucha.
But that what you're saying just made me think of, it's an old Val Kilmer movie where they go to Mars, and one of the scientists, she's asking this old guy, like as he's dying, she's like, why don't you believe in God? And he's like, well, I haven't seen proof yet. He said, maybe one day I will pick up a rock, turn it over, and it says made by God. So I can listen to this and I will try to accept it, and I will, that's what you believe, cool. But until I see it, until Sasquatch walks in my room and hands me a Coors Light, I'm not going to believe in Sasquatch.
Well, Sasquatch wouldn't drink Coors Light. Sasquatch, we're talking about Sasquatch. Sasquatch is from the Pacific Northwest. He's drinking Rainier.
IPAs.
Okay.
IPAs.
He's a douche with beer. Like he's very.
They've seen Sasquatch in Alabama. They have seen Sasquatch in Alabama.
It's different.
He's drinking PBR.
You're talking about different squatches. So we're talking about bipedal hominids, right? So what is considered what is considered a squatch in Oregon or Washington is going to be different than we have the hairy man up here. It's different than what they've got in Massachusetts, or they've got in other parts of the world. The Yeti is going to look a little bit different from the Bigfoot type animal that you've got in.
I watched the same documentary. Got it. They're all like some subspecies of alien that go to different places, and that's why they look slightly different, but they don't come to the South. It's just some guy who hasn't been shaved in 3 weeks by his wife going out for PBR, and that's Bill on his way through the woods. Not Bill as in, yeah.
Hey guys.
No, anyways.
I'm a big shape-shifting Sasquatch.
Isn't that, I guess the whole thing is, I think, Bill, that's a really fair statement as far as going and saying, if you can believe in God,
yeah.
Right? I think that's fair. There's no proof. You got no proof. Yeah. You just got your feelings.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? That kind of really comes down to anything, but it has to be supported by something, right?
Yeah, I have the U.S. Constitution, and it's supported by documents.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's really good to explore all these ideas and to go out and think about it. Like I just watched a documentary about incels. It's called TFW No GF. It's actually on you don't even need Amazon Prime. It's absolutely free. They're doing it for their South by Southwest festival, and they just released it on Amazon, so you can just go watch it. You don't even need a Prime membership.
What is it called?
TFW No GF.
All right, send me that title, and I will include the link.
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually a really. I will say this much about the documentary: not that great, but the conversation that can be had after the documentary, because we just did one over at ZooBox about it, and it really led to like a very interesting conversation about where we are in society. Okay. I liked it, so I will text the title.
So lots of letters, no girlfriend.
Yeah, TFW no GF. It's only available till Wednesday.
Ooh.
So
tomorrow.
So it's only for like a week thing that they did.
All right, I gotta get this bitch up.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it tonight too then.
All right, we'll discuss it.
There goes my Cinco de Mayo, thanks.
Hey. All right, so we were talking about Dragged Across Concrete.
Yes.
Lots of letters, no girlfriend.
Yes.
All right.
Fan mail.
And fan mail. All right.
I say we do Dragged Across Concrete as our solid next one for you two to watch. And then we really need to rely on the fans to give Bill/Will the way ahead after that.
All right.
And if they don't give us something, then we will watch both Charlie and the Chocolate Factories.
Ooh.
I wish I could just get high on acid. Just,
You know what we could do? We could also. I really like the idea of picking specific episodes of a specific series. Like, let's say it's episode 7, season 3 of The Sopranos, but one like with zero context. If you've never watched The Sopranos, this is your one episode.
I've never seen Sopranos.
I've only seen the first season, and I just always meant to go back.
It's a great show. It's a great show. James
One of the most
Gandolfini,
famous.
Frank Vincent. I mean, like it's got so many awesome character actors.
He just passed a couple of years ago, didn't he?
James Gandolfini, about 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, great, hell of an actor. Yeah, but he's fantastic in it. I mean, I'm trying to go back and think of anything James Gandolfini wasn't great in, and the best that I can do is Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh my god, I haven't seen that movie since I was a kid.
Yeah, he wasn't in it.
It was phenomenal.
But you know,
well, with DLC, you could make him as Pee-wee. Dude, that'd be pretty fucking hilarious.
He'd be the couch. The couch.
You could put Tony Soprano as Pee-wee and Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and then you could put Pee-wee as Tony Soprano.
I'm just saying, if someone's not working on this technology, someone needs to be working on this technology. I don't know.
The Koreans already are.
They've got it figured out, and it's running smoothly. Like we need to make sure that North Korea doesn't attack South Korea, so we can get these great movies.
Didn't North Korea just kill a couple guys up at the DMZ?
Yeah, I'm sure they had a cough.
Yeah.
Now I did read that there was some fire exchange at the demilitarized zone, so it's clearly not that demilitarized.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the demilitarized zone is a terrible name for a place with that many landmines.
Well, yeah, Landmineville.
Landmineville probably could have been a more appropriate name.
Ooh, then you throw USA at the end. Landmineville, USA.
Why not? We could have bought it. We could buy it.
We probably own Korea.
Landmineville, USA of South Korea. Yes. It's got to be long because and it's still theirs. Like we're just opening there.
Yeah.
That's like McDonald's. All right.
Go ahead.
No, I think we're pretty good. I think we've
dragged across concrete.
This was a solid hour. I mean, we didn't go 2 hours and get completely lost in the sauce, so we're doing better.
Yeah, we're doing much better. We're keeping our tracks. All right. So dragged across concrete. We're good.
I can jump on that train. Train to Busan, full circle.
Boom.
Are there any other good train movies?
The Taking of Pelham 316 or whatever.
1, 2, 3.
Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. There are two of them, by the way.
There
are two Taking of Pelham's 1, 2, 3s. One of them, the old school one, not Martin Landau, but one of the Walter Matthau. Walter Matthau, he plays the Denzel Washington role, and it's also where they came up with where Quentin Tarantino stole the idea for like Mr. Pink and Mr. Blue and Mr. So and so.
Yeah. So Reservoir Dogs. We need to do that at some point.
Well, is that on Prime?
We'll look it up.
They got a bunch of shit on Tarantino stuff on Netflix. We've got the Kill Bills 1 and 2. No? Okay.
I'm hard pass for me.
No? I don't know. The animation in Kill Bill was pretty fucking fire.
I will leave the podcast right now. I'll pull a Dan and just hang up. So.
Hey, dude, listen, that's a great movie. Those are great movies. I love Kill Bill, but
really, you know what? For the sake of this podcast, if you guys really want, because
what's to hate about it? It's awesome.
I'm curious. I want to make him watch it and add a shit on him just to see why.
So I've seen both, and I hated both. If I need to rewatch them, I will rewatch them, and then we can rehash this. But
I say that's an argument I want to fucking have.
it's
'Cause
giving
I
it's
love
giving
Kill
me
Bill.
heart palpitations right
Okay.
now.
So we're gonna do Drag the Across Concrete in
Okay.
the interim, and then we'll follow that up with Kill Bill Volume 1.
Okay.
And then in the next episode, after we figure out the next movie that we've got to watch, it'll be that and Kill Bill 2. And then
Boom.
we can dedicate a full episode to figuring out what's wrong with Scott.
Yeah.
Well, I
agreed.
can tell you that right now. I mean,
No. We're gonna save that for the podcast.
How many people do me lined up for that?
We gotta monetize. We gotta figure out a way to monetize your being wrong. All right.
All right. So
All
be
right.
it.
So before we get out of here, who do you need to thank? Dan.
Well, I'm going to thank El Jefe for being always a good, strong supporter. Go check out ascsupplements.com. And if you are going to purchase, use the promo code ZB20 for 20% off of your final order. And fantastic products. Also, come check us out at Zoobox Podcast, available on all streaming services. And come to our YouTube channel. We make funny videos. And we love you.
All right. So I'm going to tell you that if you're going to take those fine supplements that my friend Dan is recommending, you should do it while you are wearing a really cool Iron Asylum t-shirt. Available
I want one of those too.
at the Iron Asylum GymAK.com. All right. Get yourself over there. I believe it's free shipping over $20. Maybe it's $100. I don't know, but it's shipping's not going to be it will be the least of your issues. They make great athleisure wear, I believe is the term. Comfortable for if you're not going anywhere or you're going to the gym. Hi, pregnant lady. So if you're looking for comfortable clothes to represent a very cool veteran-owned gym, that is a very, very cool series, a line of clothes, and support a very cool veteran-owned gym during a time where it's kind of a pain in the ass to go to the gym. But wear something comfortable.
Yep.
Nonetheless.
I can't. I don't have because I'm scared. And thank you, Bill. You guys motivated me to talk to human beings on this format. So that's
It's always fun, dude.
Yeah.
Not to mention, go check out the Scotty Verse episode 2 on Zoobox we did the other night with another good friend of ours and a couple people we had. It's called Boogaloo. The Boogaloo, which is actually a Spanish dance, if you didn't know. So we're just trying to open the world up to
Harry Belafonte.
It was also the sequel to Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh shit!
See what you're talking about?
Full circle, man.
All right,
things beautiful. Thank you, Bill, for having me on as always.
Dan, it's always a pleasure. Scotty, thank you so much for being a part of this. Ladies, gents, others, thanks for hanging out.
Last word.